67% of parents became very unhappy with each other in the first 3 years after having a child. Only 33% remained content. I've spoken previously in videos about how the first year of your baby's life will be the hardest one your marriage will ever endure. And I got told I was fear-mongering. It's not fear-mongering when it's factual evidence. There's a lot that goes on in the first year after your baby is born. There's a lot that happens in your marriage. There's a lot that happens as you as a person grow and change. And it's hard. That's not me trying to fear-monger you. That's me being completely honest with you. Yes, honesty can be scary, but it's also truthful. Some of the reasons why those 67% of parents reported feeling that way are as follows. Though both parents work much harder and longer, they're both feeling underappreciated. In the year following baby's arrival, the frequency and intensity of relationship conflicts increases significantly. God, I remember my husband and I being so resentful of each other the first year of my oldest's life. It felt like a constant battle of trying to win a game of who's more tired, who did more today, who's slacking around the house, who's not doing their fair share of shit. Also, mom's sexual desire tends to drop, especially if she's breastfeeding. No, not because she's got a baby on her nipple the whole time, but because of the way your body reacts when you breastfeed makes you very dry. Causes a lot of issues with your hormones as well. Therefore, as a result, the frequency of sex decreases dramatically. Moms are also usually getting very involved with the baby and are often too fatigued to offer their partners much more in the way of emotional connection. Both parents undergo enormous changes in their identities. They're also finding that their values are changing vastly throughout their life and along with their goals in life. Moms also tend to feel like they are the ones bearing the brunt of the burden, especially if they're breastfeeding. They are on the clock 24/7 at that baby's beck and call because they've got the goods and their husband doesn't. It's easy to become resentful when you're a woman in a heterosexual marriage after you have a baby because your life changes in ways that your husband's never will. A lot of women on this app realize after they have children that their husband's life doesn't change at all and theirs changes in every single aspect. He doesn't have to think about going to the bathroom or going out for a round of golf or going out for a beer. He doesn't have to check in and see if that's okay. He just does it. Mom is not given that liberty. She is left to be the one making sure that there's someone to care for the child if she needs to be on. Checking her schedule, checking his schedule, checking with a nanny, checking with a family or friend to see if they're available to watch the child for whatever they need to get done. Dad's life does not change in the same way that mom's does. And that builds resentment. Because why does mom's life have to be the only one that changes in a 360-degree manner and dad's does not? The first year of your baby's life is a breeding ground for resentment. So have the hard conversations before you talk about having a baby. Lay it all out on the table and get it over with now.
One thing that you should never let anyone convince you of is that kids are less of a commitment than marriage. When you have kids with someone, you will have to deal with them for the rest of your life, unless they're just out of your life and they leave you. And that's not the ideal thing because kids generally need two parents. But marriage, even though divorcing is sometimes more tedious than just leaving somebody when you break up, is still the lesser commitment. You will not be tied to somebody through another person. You can leave somebody scot-free when you don't have any kids, but you've been married. You can just get a divorce. So please be wary of those people because I've stumbled upon them myself. Not romantic partners, but friends that I've had. This guy was literally planning on having kids before he was 30, but wouldn't get married until he's 40. I said, how'd that work? I'm sorry, I'm a person who thinks that you should be married before you have kids with somebody. Because ideally, the person that you married would be somebody that you have kids with.
So every time a couple has a baby and they break up, I always see people ask, like, why do everybody break up after they have a baby? First and foremost, the mom has 9 months to prepare to become a mother. The father usually doesn't become a father until you put that baby in his hands. The 4th trimester is a monster all on its own. Sleep deprivation, your boobs leaking everywhere, your hormones all over the place. And again, you're going through all these physical changes while you're taking care of a child and recovering from a birth. And the father has not physically gone through anything. So although he may be there with you step by step of the whole thing, he's not physically going through it. And it's something that he will never be able to truly understand. So at that point, you have the first disconnect that can happen during pregnancy while you're going through all these changes and he's staying the same. Then you give birth to the baby. You think, oh, no, now we're here, but he's still the same while you're continuing to go through the changes. So now the two of you really just don't feel compatible anymore. My personal thought is that men are not equipped to be the primary mental, emotional, and physical support for a woman while pregnant and after she gave birth. Back in the day, there used to be a village of women that protected that woman during that time. Of course, the father was there, but the primary support was from other women. But thanks to capitalism, that is no longer realistic. So don't blame men, don't blame women, blame capitalism. Men, y'all do need to grow up though, but capitalism is not for families.
Nobody tells you when you have kids how much you're going to miss your partner. Nobody talks about that.
You better stop preaching here.
Nobody talks about that.
We going to church? Is that what we doing?
And
Yeah.
Come on now.
and my wife, Rachel, and I have gone through this episode.
Yes, sir.
And we have a 3.5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of done it twice in the last 4 years where you have to like redefine yourself.
Yeah.
And you get so stuck trying to take care of this human being, and all of your oxytocin is focused on this point that you forget to point any of it at each other.
Yes.
And this is where that parallel living comes up, and it takes active intervention to prevent it. Like you can't just
There's no
figure it
button.
out.
I am not ashamed to admit this, but my husband and I are not getting along right now. And I feel like there's this fear of judgment for talking about marital troubles once you have a baby, because you don't want to give off this aura that there's something wrong with your marriage. But then what happens is that new parents suffer in silence, and they think that there's something wrong with them and there's something wrong with their marriage in comparison to all these other first-time parents that seemingly have no issues. But let me normalize this, because every person that I've spoken to that has a young child has at one point or another gone through a phase where they are not getting along with their significant other. And that's not to say I don't love my husband. I love my husband more than anything in the world. We're just not getting along right now. And let me tell you why. We both have very stressful jobs. We are raising a 14-month-old toddler who is very demanding of our attention. She is also teething, so she is not sleeping. On top of the teething, she is not eating because she is teething. And I know that he's frustrated with me with the way that I respond to the stressors in our life, and I'm frustrated with him because I feel like I'm carrying a bigger load than he is. Here's the thing. This is the thing that I don't want to happen. I don't want people to come into the comments and be like, oh my God, your baby daddy is blah, 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 and start like judging him for X, Y, and Z. That is not the point of this video at all. I think my husband is an incredible husband. He's an incredible father. He is incredibly patient with me. But sometimes we just don't get along. And that is what we're going through right now. We are not getting along right now. And I think we should normalize talking about that, and talking about it in a way where it's not like airing out your dirty laundry. It's just saying like, this is what's happening in my life right now. This is how we're working through it. Have you experienced this, and how did you guys work through it? So how are we working through it? First, we need to go on a date. That is what we've decided. We've decided that we need to spend some one-on-one time together where we're not with our baby. Two, we are also reminding each other that we are on the same team. Like on days we feel like we're against each other, we are trying to actively remind one another that we're on the same team. Like we're in this together. It's not us against each other. It's us against the issue. And right now the issue is our toddler. I'm kidding, of course. Of course, our sweet baby angel is not the issue. Her lack of sleep and her teething, that is the issue. And lastly, we're doing things individually to like refill our own cups. Sam is exercising, he's working out, I'm giving him time, space to do what he needs to do. And I have booked myself a massage because I deserve it. I don't have a perfect marriage. I will never say that I have a perfect marriage. I'm still learning how to be the best version of myself in my life, in my marriage, how to show up for my partner. These are all things that I'm still learning while being a first-time mom. So yeah, my husband and I are not getting along the best right now, but hopefully we will be getting along better in the very near future.
Just saw an interview where a guy was talking about how having kids was the worst decision he ever made. Like, it ruined his life and his wife's life. And that's not to say you shouldn't have kids if you want to, because you should definitely have kids if you want to. But this guy openly admitted that he manipulated his wife into having kids. She didn't want to do it when they met. And he said that was fine, even though he really wanted to have kids. And so they fell in love, and they were about to get married, and he was like, yeah, actually, I lied before I want kids. Like, you can't do that. That's a big thing. That's a big decision. Don't just, like, hope people are going to change their mind. Because then she did. She agreed. She's like, I'll have one, but under the conditions that, like, I don't have to give up my career. I don't have to do this, that, and the other. Anyway, ended up getting pregnant with twins, had a traumatic birth experience, suffers from postpartum depression, and they had to do, like, a C-section, and something else happened, and so now she's just in chronic pain all the time. So she can't work. And she was like the breadwinner. Like, she made the majority of the income. So be honest with your partner. Do not assume that they'll come around. It's really messed up.
Hey, I just want to get on here and give everybody an update of what's going on. I'm back at my house. I'm here. I'm home. So the boys left. They did. You know, they came and got their things. They left. And first of all, I want to say this because people has been saying this and it's wrong. The son never used a racial slur to me ever. Neither one of them. So it was the dad during the time of him putting his son out of his house. He texted my wife, which is his mom, the dad did, and he used a racial slur saying she was laying up with, you know, whatever. And he was putting his son out. So it was the dad used the racial slur, not the son. I just wanted to clear that up. But anyway, and I have no problem with nobody staying with me. You know, I've helped numerous and many of people out during my life. I done housed a lot of people. I don't like doing it, you know, especially if you're not family or something. But if you're helping yourself, I don't have a problem at all. Like, if you're helping yourself and helping the situation, I'm good. We're gonna work to get you out of there. But if you just sucking the system dry and you just killing the tank, and you know, and it's taking a toll on me and my relationship, then we got problems, you know. And it felt like I just ain't know where to turn or where to go, you know. I ain't know where to go with it, man. So I just had to reach out to old TikTok, and man, you guys responded heavy. I mean, heavy. I was not expecting that, man, at all. At all. I was not expecting that. But, you know, all the comments and opinions and this, you know, I read much as I could, you know, and I took into consideration to, you know, to not do a lot of things you guys were saying, but yo, you know, it might come back to bite me, but you know, at least I got something out of the deal. You know, I still got my wife, but I got my house. So we'll see how that go. I will put a wall up. I'll never let that enter again into and you know, and make it a situation. I won't let that happen again. But if it don't work how it is now, it's just not gonna work, and that's it. That's it. It's dead. But but yeah, I'm back at the house, and hopefully everything will work out and work to the rightness. But you know, I'm not a bad guy, yo. I'm a good dude, yo. I help, you know, I help and I help and I help. But you know, you can't help but so much, and you can't, you know, I'm not gonna drag a dead horse either. So, you know, yeah, and even if it takes for me being the bad guy, you know, I learned a lot from this situation, man. So, yeah, and I know certain things to not ever put my foot in again. So, but yeah, so I appreciate the my TikTok people, man. I appreciate y'all, man. All the follows y'all gave me, you know, and the support and the love, and you know, I didn't expect it to be that heavy, you know, like damn, 500,000 heavy, but yeah, I do appreciate that, man. But any other updates come up, I'll be sure to let y'all know though. Alright.
One of the reasons I'm staying child free is that I want to keep my marriage. I want to keep it good. I'm not saying this happens to every couple that has kids, but many couples I know who have kids, it ruined their dynamic. I saw them before they had kids, they were obsessed with each other. They spoke to each other with so much love. And then I watched them have kids, and slowly but surely, the resentment just grew. And the way they would speak to each other, every word dripping with stank. And you could just see like the micro fights every day about the division of labor, and it just ruined them. The only ones I've seen this not happen for are the ones who could afford help, like a lot of help. And we cannot afford that. My marriage is more precious to me than some fictional small human who I may or may not even like. Just being real here.